So I saw these cool little meters for sale, not just on Amazon but everywhere, AliExpress and everything else. This particular one is the cheapest one that I had seen. I think the one that I actually bought, I think I paid closer to $7 for it. This is the box that it came in. And what these can do is they'll display the AC voltage, like if you hook it to your breaker panel or a device that's using power. It'll show the AC voltage, it'll show how much current the thing is drawing, and it also shows you the frequency of the line, which here in the United States is 60 hertz, so I don't really care too much about that. It's got the current loop, so you run one of the wires from the load, whatever your load is, through there, and two little places will hook up two more leads from the power to power the thing. And what I wanted to use mine for, let's go out here, I just drained the well. I wanted to put it on the pressure tank well pump controller because there were no lights or idiots or anything to tell you what's going on. So I have just installed that on the box. This is the one that I got sitting right there. And I went out and ran the tank, I think pretty low, wasn't much coming out of the hose. So we're going to flip the breaker box, and if there's smoke, we're all going to enjoy it together. Okay, so it's just what it should be running. We're about 240 volts for the well pump. And generally when it's working right, it draws about 5 amps. This says 5.8. My other handheld meter says 5. And it says 59 hertz. Well, we know it's 60. So it's not spot on perfect, but at least now I have an indicator, because typically I don't know what's going on out there. You don't know if the well pump's running or not running. A couple of weeks ago we had a failure on the controller, but it could be the pressure switch, which is down here underneath this tank thing, or it could be the controller. They all have contacts in them. When those go bad, nothing works. So that time that things went bad, this was drawing a constant by taking off this panel meter and putting my clip leads across there. It was drawing 20 amps and not pumping any water. So that meant that the starter windings were being fed current constantly and the motor wasn't running. So some of the contacts somewhere had gone bad. So after I put the new box in and then had a replacement pressure switch already, I decided, what the heck, let's order some sort of indicator so I can visually see what this sucker's doing. So it's, even though it's not spot on perfect, I really believe my other very expensive clip-on meter is probably correct. It's saying it's 5 amps and this says 5.7, and we know it's 60 hertz and not 59. 243 is pretty close. I usually run about 240 volts here, but very inexpensive. It would be really cool to build a second panel off the breaker panel and basically have one of those for every single breaker in the box. It'd be nice to know what's going on. You want to know what your hot water tank's doing, you want to know what your air conditioning is doing, you want to know what your electric heat or furnace is doing, whatever, or how much power you're wasting on lights. It'd be kind of cool for the money. It'd make a nice display if nothing else. So anyway, just a heads up, in case you guys didn't know if these kinds of things existed. Maybe the ones that you spend a little bit more money on are more accurate. I don't know. These had pretty good write-ups. The only people that were quoting failures with them were people that were trying to run them clear up to close to 500 volts, over 400. Then they said they tend to fail within 6 months to a year. No one reported a failure that I know of. It just shut off because the tank is full. I heard the pressure switch click. So that's good. That's what I wanted to know. Now I know the pump's not running. I know everything's pressurized. Worked perfect. But what I was saying, it'll work at lower voltages too. It didn't have to be a 240 volt system. You could connect it to a 120 volt breaker or whatever you got going on just to see what's happening. Very interesting device. Didn't know it even existed until I happened to spot one. Ordered mine on Amazon, got it in 2 days. Came in this little box. The little current sense toroid is separate and it's on a plug, so you can unplug it. I guess they do sell them with different colored bezels, red, green, amber, There's the blue one that we were just looking at online.